Yes, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Squared Circle with my boy Enzo from EMGM Sports, a close
But
friend of the channel. Enzo, what's happening, bro?
what's good, Joe, man? Yes, man, we're back with another one, man. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to come back to the Squared Circle, man. You know me, man.
So, thank you for being here. Guys, if you haven't watched
Appreciate it.
a video earlier talking about the controversy between Ben Whitaker and Liam Cameron, which is on this channel. So if you haven't gone and seen that video, go watch it now. Very, very, very important news there and a great watch. So yeah, make sure you watch that video as well. But on this video, I want to talk about Dubois, a fighter, Derek Chisora, who's very, very close to the heart of this channel. Good friend of David's. And he, for his last fight, his 50th fight, looks like it will be for a world title. And it will be against Daniel Dubois for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the world. That's what Chisora wants. But I'm not sure if it will be his fight next. Now, he is mandatory, Enzo, for the IBF title, Daniel Dubois' IBF title. Now, what is your initial thoughts on that? Is it well deserved for Dubois?
Yeah, listen, man. I'm hearing the online noise. People saying, what has he done? Listen, man. I'm looking at the body of work that Chisora's put in over the years, bruv. You're an idiot if you don't respect Dubois, man. Like, he's never ducked anyone. He's taken all upcomers, challenges. He's for Klitschko, man. He went over to Germany and fought the Klitschko brothers, bruv. This guy's a serious guy. Dubois, for me, I don't care what anyone says, he deserves this, innit? Look at his last 3 fights, man. Who's he beating? Otto Wallen. He beat Joyce, and who's the other guy?
I don't remember.
He beat someone else before that, innit? Or what, did he lose that fight? Okay, let's just go by the last 2 performances.
I think it was it Pulev's last fight?
Did he beat Pulev, yeah?
I think he beat Pulev, yeah.
Okay, so just look at that, like, the last 3 fights, man. The guy is in hot streak here, hot form, performed great. 50th fight, yeah, for him to get a world title. I feel so happy for him, yeah. And Joe, can you imagine? Picture this, bruv. At Wembley, Dubois at Wembley, 50th fight, yeah, 41 years of age. Imagine he sparks out Daniel Dubois and becomes world heavyweight champion, bruv. Listen, they're gonna be teaching that in schools, bro. He goes into that boxing Bible. He goes into the boxing Bible with Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Joe Frazier, all them guys. He's up there, man. He's incredible. He's 41 years old. Wow.
One of the oldest heavyweight champions of all time as well. Yeah, by the way, just to let you know, Enzo, it was Gerald Washington. That was his other fight. So Washington, Joyce, and then obviously Wallen. Those are his last 3 wins. So in last 3 fights, 3 wins, which is quite unfamiliar with Dubois in his last runs of in the last few years. He usually loses, wins, lost, win. But to be fair, he's on a bit of a run, isn't he? So look, he's got the winning momentum behind him. And you're right, he'll be one of the oldest heavyweight champions of all time at 41. I think he's 42 soon. So do you know what I mean? So it'll be a great story. And now look, like I said, Derek is a friend of the channel, so I'm never gonna go against him. If he can fight anyone, I'll always back Derek Chisora. And look, I hope he gets that world title shot. Now, it's yesterday, I believe, him, David, they all went usher together, right? And I was on the phone to David today, and he was just basically telling me that Chisora probably will wait out for Joe Joyce. And Chisora said it as well on TalkSport. He said, look...
Joe Joyce.
Dubois. I had Joe Joyce because Joe Joyce is fighting soon. That's why I had him in my head. Dubois, right? And he basically said that I'm waiting for that world title shot. I'm not going to take no other fight. So I don't care if it takes me 3 months, 6 months, even a year. I'm waiting for Daniel Dubois. Now, I asked David, I was like, David, do you reckon he's going to wait? He said that he thinks he'll probably wait, but the only fight one of the only fights that he might reconsider is if Baby Miller comes and asks him for a fight, Jarrell Miller. He said he might come out and do a fight with Jarrell Miller. And this is my opinion. I think if AJ came along, he'd fight AJ in the meantime, if that chance was there. But Derek Chisora, I think he means it about the 50th fight being his last fight. Bare times in the past, Derek Chisora said, look, I might retire, I might not retire, I might retire. This time, I think he's telling the truth. So I think what better way is there than going out at the top, at the pinnacle, fight for a world title and going out, win or loss. At least your last fight was a world title. You're going out at the top, right? So I think that's probably the best scenario and best thing Derek Chisora should do. Wait for that world title.
I think Derek Chisora will get the world title fight next.
Yeah. So do you think so they also said that it's highly rumored that Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois are going to fight for a unification for the Undisputed Championship of the World at Wembley. So this was reports coming out. So obviously your boy Parker is not going to get that world title shot next, it looks like. So what do you think about that? What do you think about Daniel Dubois, Oleksandr Usyk at Wembley Stadium this summer?
Listen, overall good fight, innit? Do you know what I mean? Listen, you're on in this online business here. You can hear the noise. You can see what the fans are saying, everything like that. I read your comments. Like, people are going mad. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously the fans, they feel like Joseph Parker deserves that shot. Do you know what I mean? But like you said, the WBO ordered this fight 3 weeks ago. We haven't heard nothing from Usyk. We have Frank Warren's been running around saying, yo, we want the Usyk Dubois fight. So, like you just said a minute ago, yeah, it does look like it's gonna be Dubois versus Usyk. But if you're asking for a prediction from me, yeah, what's gonna happen developing the fight is exactly the same thing happened the first time.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean? Usyk is just a kryptonite for these British giants. I keep saying it. Usyk needs a different look. He needs a Parker. He needs a Kabayel. He needs someone different because these British giants. Okay, let's look at this. Yeah, if I'm Usyk, yeah, for my legacy's sake, if we remember Usyk's career, let's say he fights Dubois next, he beats Dubois, retires. Usyk in the heavyweight division, yeah, four guys, all British. Chisora, Dubois twice, AJ twice, Fury twice. That's his resume in the heavyweight division.
Bellew in there as well. In the cruiserweight days, like he's a British slayer. Do you know what I mean?
He's a British slayer. We haven't seen him again. Give him a Kabayel. What do we say about Usyk? His body shots hurt him. Fury done it, but Fury didn't have the gas tank to step on it. Kabayel has the engine. Joseph Parker has the engine. Give these other guys the chance. That's what I'm saying, Joe. I understand. I know you're saying that you think it's Dubois Usyk next. I don't. I think soon it's going to be announced. I think it's going to be Oleksandr Usyk versus Joseph Parker for the WBO strap. Otherwise, them man are going to get stripped. I'm telling you, the IBF, they're very what do you mean? When they order mandatory, they're very strict on it. They don't mess around. I'm trying to tell you, Daniel Dubois is going to fight Derek Chisora next for the IBF title. There's not going to be a unification until this whole thing is sorted out. And you're talking about Wembley. I made a suggestion. I see that in a video on it. I said, Wembley main event, Usyk, Parker. Co-main, Dubois, Chisora. Joe, that breaks all type of records. You know me and you are going to that fight, bro. Yeah, we have to be there live. We have to be at Wembley, bro.
The only problem with that is, though, do you think, obviously me and you, I'll be down for that. Let's say core British patriotic fans, right? They're going to be like, bruv, nah, there needs to be a British person as the main event, or this is a piss take. That's literally what they're going to say. I disagree. I would love to see that. That's a great little lineup there, innit? And then you stack the undercard. You do a Riyadh season card or a Ring magazine card, rather, on that in Wembley Stadium and sell it out. That would be a great, great night of boxing, right?
Going back to the British thing, Joseph Parker, yeah, is basically adopted.
He's basically British fighter as well. Yeah.
Listen, Joseph Parker is more popular in the UK than Daniel Dubois. He's got more fans than Daniel Dubois in the UK. That's the way I look at it. The sentiment online when I measure everything for me. Listen, and let me tell you something. Let me show you another proof. Let me give you another receipt. Joseph Parker is got a record for the highest pay-per-view sales in UK history. Him and Joshua did 1.83 million. Dubois, Joshua did 800,000. Do you get it? So Joseph Parker, do not get it twisted. He's got a big following in the UK. The fans have adopted him. Him and Usyk will do big numbers at Wembley. Like you said, they want a British guy, but the co-main event is the British guys. Chisora brings in mad numbers. The fans will come just for that. They'll pay just for that, man. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it can happen. But like you said, listen, with Uncle Frank, man, you never know with these guys what they're doing behind the scenes.
I do think, no, you're right, 100%. I think Joseph Parker is definitely one of the most loved fighters in the UK. You know, like I know you know more about Joseph Parker and the Joseph Parker fans, right? But in the UK, we love him, right? And I do think, like, I just think this is how I feel. I feel that the promoters and Turkey are gonna do Joseph Parker a bit dirty.
You think Turkey's still with Uncle Frank? They're not talking, man.
I do think I think they are, because basically Turkey said basically this is what Turkey said. We're gonna work with the promoters for the next 2 years. We have a contract with them for the next 2 years. Yeah, that's Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, and the way he spoke to me, it sounded like after that 2 years, we're gonna basically not work with them, and or we're basically gonna like prioritize our own boxing league model, right? So I think, right, I do think that Joseph Parker deserves a world title. There's no one in the world that deserves a shot more than Joseph Parker, right? I think a lot of people agree, and a lot of people on the same page as that. But I think the politics and the powers that be in boxing, whether people like it or not, whether it's warranted or not, in my opinion, I think it's fair. Turki Al-Sheikh is the most powerful man in boxing, right? And he is a puppet master. And I think the promoters are his puppets, right? Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, right? Ben Shalom, Oscar De La Hoya, even Bob Arum, all of those guys, right? I think he's going to tell Frank Warren, who looks after Joseph Parker or works closely with Joseph Parker, we want the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world next. And we won it in Riyadh, right? I think he's very selfish about having fights in Riyadh, and rightfully so, because he's Saudi Arabian, right? If I'm Saudi Arabian, I want my fights in Saudi Arabia. I don't care. Like, I'm putting the money up, I get to have in Saudi Arabia, right? Obviously, as a British fan, I don't like that, but I understand it, okay? I don't want to fly to Saudi all the time and waste money just to go watch a fight. I want to go Wembley. I went Agit Dubois, amazing. Do you know what I mean? And I just think that he's got to prioritize that. And Oleksandr Usyk, you know, he's acknowledged it. The clock is ticking for his boxing career. He said he wants 2 fights. He said he wanted Dubois and he wanted a fun little fight with Alex Pereira from the UFC. Obviously, they're going to do boxing, I presume, right? Yeah. And do I see Usyk expanding his fights longer than two fights? I don't know, because earlier, a few years ago, Usyk said he would have retired before after the undisputed. He said he's going to retire after undisputed. Then before the Fury first fight, he said, "Nah, I feel good. I want to continue. I'm going to go past that." So I don't know if he's going to say that again. I don't know, but it's the clock is ticking now. I think a great scenario would be, and I think Dubois would be down for it. The only person I think would have a problem with this is Oleksandr Usyk. You said Dubois, Chisora, and Usyk, Parker. I think as a semi-final will be a good idea, and the majority will be comfortable with it in terms of the fighters. Chisora, Dubois, and Parker. I think that all 3 of them will be happy. I think Dubois will be more than happy fighting Chisora, because he'll think he's rightfully so, because he's the younger, fresher fighter and world champion. Fight old Chisora, you know, a game Chisora nonetheless, but still an old Chisora, right? Yeah. And not a prime Chisora. I know Del Boy might watch this and think, nah, don't say that, but I'm just being honest, like Derek, right? So the only person I think that's not going to be happy is Oleksandr Usyk, because Parker's going to get his world title. Dubois going to get a fight that he'd probably be like, yeah, this is a good fight for me, and I'm the favorite in it. And Chisora's going to be happy. My last fight, 50th fight for a world title. I'm out in the UK. Let's see if I can do Wembley Stadium. Let's see if I can Tottenham, or even if not, I can do a Manchester Arena O2, like 20k venues, right? Yeah, a great night. The only person I'll be feeling away is Oleksandr Usyk, because Oleksandr Usyk cares about money and legacy right now, right? And the way he will get more money and legacy is for undisputed title, not the opponent, because Parker is probably more of a loved and adored name than Dubois right now. So not in terms of that, but in terms of the heavyweight title that Dubois has and the money, because it's an undisputed fight, right? He won't get that compared to Parker. Of course, he'll get handsomely paid, but not compared to Dubois. So the only problem is, will Oleksandr Usyk budge? I think he will say yes to Teke Al-Sheikh, because Teke Al-Sheikh is giving him a lot of big paydays, right? And I think that's probably going to be an ideal scenario for the majority, but Oleksandr Usyk. So I don't know what you think about that, Enzo. That's my two ways of it can go, to be honest.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we've spoken about this a lot as well, off air as well. Look, Oleksandr Usyk, like you said, he wants the money, he wants the legacy, 2 times undisputed. I reckon, look, these people are not thinking Oleksandr Usyk can still get it 2 times undisputed, even if he doesn't fight Dubois next. Do you know what I mean? Dubois, Usyk can still happen, mate. Do you know what I mean? It can still happen. They can go out there. You know, listen, dude, Parker's my guy. I rate Parker, but Usyk is the guy, bro. Like, he's won the game. Usyk on the night, he could outbox Parker.
In my opinion, here, the rest are like here.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. But the problem with a lot of these guys is, with Dubois, Usyk, and that, they're looking at now risk versus rewards right now. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, you mentioned Usyk's age. He's thinking, yo, okay, I might beat Parker, but I might lose as well. And then what happens then? I'm 40 years old, and so he's thinking like you. He said, look, I can get the bag, get the 2 times undisputed, and I'm out here. I'll just fight Dubois. I've beaten before. I know how to beat these British giants. Do you know what I mean? So that's why he's going for that. I think these guys might get stripped, bro, Joe. I'm telling you, man. Like, Dubois got a deadline with the IBF. They might strip him, man. Usyk might get stripped to the WBO, man. I'm telling you, man. Because, listen, before the noise from the fans, the WBO didn't do nothing. When Parker's name started ringing bells and the fans were going crazy, a week after, boom, mandatory. So they are listening to the fans, bro. I'm telling you, man.
You know what? Also, just to add on to that, I think a massive point that is the belts are pissed off with Teke Al-Sheikh right now as well.
That's what I'm trying to say. They're trying to prove to him, yo, we're the boss.
Yeah, so they're gonna slap mandatories. They're gonna slap, taking the belts away, all that, just to prove a point. Because Teke Al-Sheikh has disrespected them as the belts, saying that these belts don't matter now.
Yeah,
like years of legacies, like decades of legacies. These belts, hold, right?
Mate, the WBO is 100 years old.
Do you know what I mean? WBO oldest belt, WBC probably the most renowned, prestigious belt with the
That's what I'm trying to say,
right? WBO, IBF, still respectable belts too, right? So otherwise, they wouldn't be well-titled belts if they're not respectable. They'll be looked as the IBO. No one rates the IBO, unfortunately. Right? Unfortunately, right? So look. And if I'm the belt organizations right now, and Teke Al-Sheikh's basically declared war on me, they're gonna try and extinct me, get rid of me as a belt organization, right? I'm slapping mandatories, and I think that's what the WBO are thinking. I think WBO, IBF specifically are thinking, bro, bun Teke Al-Sheikh, forget this guy. I will show you I can ruin, fights for you. And I'm not saying they're going out for Teke Al-Sheikh. They are doing the right thing, by the way, but. But before this announcement, they would have listened to Teke Al-Sheikh. They would have listened to the fighters. They would have been willing to negotiate step-aside deals, right? Now, I think they're going to put the heat on, man. I think they're going to.
And also, those mandatories came after the Canelo incident. When you remember when Canelo was facing off with Scow, Turkey was like, no, those belts, only Ring Magazine. Like literally a couple of days later, 2 mandatories, bro. Like, yo,
exactly,
bro. 2 mandatories straight after. Okay, you want to play that game? Mandatories now.
Same with Beterbiev Bivol, Benavides, WBC mandatory.
Exactly. They done that straight. Because Turkey was talking about trilogy. Bam, take that mandatory. Or we strip Bivol. Then there is no undisputed again.
Exactly, and the WBC are very political. Like they try and massage egos of their fighters. So the fact that they Benavides was Canelo's mandatory for a long time, and that fight never happened ever.
Yeah.
They're gonna force it against Bivol because they're gonna show favoritism there, which I don't really like about the WBC. Guys, make sure you go to EMGM Sports, subscribe, check it all out, and also subscribe to this channel as well, man. The link of Enzo's channel will be in the description, of course. And yeah, guys, please make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Enzo, any closing words from you, bro?
No, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Listen, I just want to say Joe was one of the first people that I reached out when I first got into this YouTube thing. Boxing is a passion of mine, so I reached out to Joe because I like the energy. You and David, really good. Listen, man, I want to tell people, Joe, yeah, I know, like, on camera, this guy is so knowledgeable when it comes to boxing, yeah. What he's giving you on camera is like maybe like 10%. He knows so much. Trust me, guys. Make sure you subscribe, guys, man. Trust me, this channel is going places. All of us are going to be linking up, bringing you more content. So the only way we can do this is if you support us by liking, commenting, and also subscribing to the channels, man. Well, trust me, Joe, Aslo, we got so much. We got big plans, man. We're going to bring some big things to this platform. So make sure you stay tuned and subscribe. That's so important.
Well spoken, bro. But guys, that is the end of the video. Once again, thank you so much. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And until then, we will see you on another video. Peace out.
Peace.